It's something I've been asking the group this weekend. I asked the question several times, and the question I was asking is, what are the deeper implications of the fact that you heard about the possibility of universal soul retrieval because you came to a plant spirit medicine weekend retreat? You thought that all sounds a bit nuts, and you had doubts about it, and you had thoughts in your rational mind such as, surely that's impossible. To go from that perspective to actually learning the techniques, developing their own ways of doing it and practicing them, I mean, that's a wonderful thing. But what I was asking them to focus on was my question, which is, what are the deeper implications? And this is what I brought them to at the end of the day. And the deeper implications of shamanic work is that because you learn that you can do things that your rational mind used to tell you were impossible, this means that in terms of us as human beings, we are all gods and goddesses in the making. And just as much as a god is able to create a universe and to populate it with life, human beings have already reached the stage that what they can do is they can create machines based upon the zeros and ones, which we call computers, and they can actually create software to create a game, and the game has got characters, and the characters actually function, and they have relationships with each other, which are then mediated through the human beings. It's like all the human beings playing the game, they're inserting their glove into this matrix which is being created in the computer game. My point is this: the reason why we're being encouraged to play with these technologies is to finally reach our birthright, which is that we will be creating entire forms of existence in the future, and it will start with us cleaning up this world. It will extend on to us creating worlds with the powers of our active imagination, which is simply the thought, which is the word. The Gospel according to John, the 4th book of the New Testament in the Bible: in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. As we are all becoming gods in the making, we are being invited to be very much more careful with the use of the power of our word, knowing that there's going to be coming a time sooner rather than later when we can actually go beyond creating sim cities and alternate realities inside the region of the zeros and ones, and to actually extend this out into the wider reality. So that is my message to all the people that come to me for training, is look at the deeper implications of these things that you've learned to do. You can travel to a different galaxy in this completely new space. You can create your own healing space. You can do work on a person, which means you can feed them with these things that have been persecuting them for years. You can bring back the lost parts that they've been staggering around without for so long. You can do all these things, so therefore what else can you do? How much further can you take it? And yes, I see us all in our process of evolution towards becoming beings so responsible that we will be having these powers in the fullness of time, and perhaps a little sooner rather than later. Okay. So if you're interested in coming on to one of the trainings, there's always the Plant Spirit Medicine Retreat, which some people find the ideal first introduction to this work. In the USR training, you realise you don't need to be working with any plant spirits. You can do all this with your active imagination, with trance induction, and with your intent. So please, you're most welcome to get in touch, and I'll create you a training with whoever wants to come along with you. In the meantime, please keep an eye on YouTube, keep an eye on the website, youtubeshaman.com and universalshamanicalliance.com. Whatever we're doing, we will keep you up to date through these means. Thanks very much.